My name is Andreas Group, and today I would like to talk about paper waste, and I would like to demonstrate you how much paper is actually wasted nowadays in our society. But not only that, I also want to talk about recycling, especially throughout recent years, and I want to point out that actually recycling has also increased during the recent years. First of all, I want to tell you, everyone uses paper. You know that. You use it when you're eating, you use it when you go to the toilet, you go to the bathroom, you use it when you dry your hands. The books and newspapers that you read every day are also made of paper. So paper is pretty much everywhere. But the fact is, how much paper do we actually use? Here you can see the worldwide use of paper. Those trees are actually, 140-foot tree equals 40 kilograms of paper consumption. And you can see that Belgium is by far the first leader. Germany is a little bit far behind. The United States and the Netherlands also in the midsection. Actually, what this means is, one tree has a diameter of 6 to 8 inches. Imagine that's approximately, well, a little bit more than that, but this much. 40 foot is approximately 13 meters. So those are huge trees, and this is the consumption per capita per person. So I want to ask you something. To refer this actually to numbers. What do you think a regular piece of writing paper, as you all see on the table, weighs? Just an educated guess, Michaela.
9 grams.
9 grams. Any other suggestions?
5 grams.
5 grams. That's really close. Actually, a piece of paper weighs 4.3 grams. To put this into numbers, go back here. The Belgian person, assuming that all paper that is used on the planet is only writing paper, one Belgian person per year uses as much as 78,000 pieces of writing paper. This is equal to just going to the Rockefeller Center and burn down the huge Rockefeller Christmas tree 4 times in a row. One Belgian person per year, which is just incredible to believe. There are some more facts. Gizmodo states that human beings are still the #1 enemy of trees, which is weird because we don't really need them to live, and we even surpass termites and beavers by that. Funny thing is, we don't even eat that stuff, but they do. They need it to survive, but we're still the #1 enemy. The second fact, established by The Economist, says that worldwide paper consumption has increased by half in the last 30 years, which is a puzzling development since we're supposed to live in a paperless and green era. I mean, you'd think that in a time where computers, iPads, iPhones, all kinds of smartphones are on the rise and their prices actually fall, you might expect that paper consumption is also decreasing. But that's not true at all. Actually, paper consumption has increased by more than 30%, well, 130%, than over the last 5 years. However, and now I want to talk a little bit about recycling. Oh, you can't really see the numbers, I'm sorry about that. People actually seem more eager to recycle, and I actually want to talk about the recycling in Europe. In 2004, you really can't see the number, unfortunately, but in 2004, 54.6% of all paper has been recycled in Europe. 3 years later, by 2007, this number has already increased by almost 10% and ended up at 64.5%, which is already an improvement. By now, 70% of all paper is recycled in the Netherlands, 67% of all paper is recycled in Germany, 52% in Japan, and 45% in the US. This number is steadily increasing. What you can do. Being environmentally cautious when you go to the bathroom. I've talked about this in my previous presentation already. Don't take 10 paper towels. 1 is enough to dry off your hands. When you take notes in class, use both sides of the paper. Maybe use scrap paper. Use paper that the tutor doesn't need anymore. Don't use fresh pieces that just end up in the trash anyways. Moreover, motivate others. Tell tutors and staff that it might be profitable or even environmentally friendly to use an iPad in class instead of always taking notes, passing out block books. Motivate fellow students to also do the same thing. And, what The Economist said, they pretty much said that if you want to save a tree, buy a Kindle. Now I want to give you a little something to think about.
Paper and paper products. We all use them every day, but what are the effects? Many people don't think about the aftermath of making and using paper products. If the U.S. cut down paper usage by 10%, it would prevent the emissions of 1.6 million tons of greenhouse gases, the equivalent of taking 280,000 cars off the road. There are 30 million trees cut down per year in Australia alone. Many animals also become homeless in this process. 1.5 tons of greenhouse gases are emitted for every ton of paper used. With this, the paper industry ranks fourth in the contribution of greenhouse gases. If all the waste of paper in the world were to be combined, a wall 12 feet tall could be built stretching from California to New York. Only about 3% of students in school recycle paper. So just how much paper do we use? This graph shows the usage of paper per person in the year 2006. Now that we know the effects, what can we do about it? One great way to reduce paper use is by lowering or eliminating the use of certain paper products. Some of these products would include paper plates, paper towels in the kitchen, and of course paper napkins. Try replacing these items with those that can be washed and reused. Try to eliminate the waste of sheets of paper. Print or write on both sides if necessary, and use scraps as post-it notes. Say no to paper and plastic. Choose to use canvas grocery bags when shopping. And last but not least, please remember to recycle.